welcome to the Whaler Guys. I'm Jerry Irwin, along with my sidekick here, Pete Hindle. He's on the other side of the blue line tonight.
Yep.
And we are on the eve of opening night, 2017-18 season. NHL is ready to rock and roll tonight, and a great guy from the UConn hockey team is starting tonight for the St. Louis Blues as they take on the Pittsburgh Penguins, who are going to raise that banner as Stanley Cup champs again.
Back-to-back Stanley Cup,
That's right.
Which is, they hadn't done that since 91, 92.
Yep.
When they had Ron Francis, Ulf Samuelson, and Lemieux, and all those guys.
Everyone.
So yeah, Barrasso, and they had everybody. So hey, here we are, another season. It's great that a UConn player. Tage Thompson left last season after the end of last season. Immediately went to the Blues, Chicago Wolves organization, and then here it is. He was rumored to be one of the guys to make the Blues roster, and that's not exactly an easy roster to make because the Blues have been pretty competitive in the last couple of years.
Yes.
So it's not like he made the Vegas Golden Knights. He made the St. Blues roster.
Who've been in the playoffs, like you said, very competitive over the last 2 or 3 years.
Right.
And, for a young man, he's, 20 years old?
Oh, gosh, 22, 21, yeah.
He's stepping into what his dad did, a lot younger than his dad, no disrespect to Brent.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be exciting to see how he does in the big league.
Yeah, I know. It's we saw him at UConn, and he was at a certain level above most of the other UConn players, at least from an offensive standpoint. A physical presence, no doubt. I can't count how many times he got a damn penalty for a pretty, like elbows in, a good hit where he just leveled another kid.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, it's too rough. But, it was a clean hit. But anyway, he's just an impressive specimen. I think he's 6'4", so around that.
He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's always tall. And so that height, just like with Chara, who's obviously taller, but he generates a shot with the stick because you got this. They say give you a lever and you can move the world. This guy can shoot the puck like from here to St. Louis.
Around somebody.
Yeah. So that'd be fun to watch him, see how he does.
He's going to have to get his feet wet, obviously, in the NHL. Right. The other thing he's going to have to really do is become a very disciplined player. And how it really pissed me off when we're watching, whether it's the Wolfpack or UConn, undisciplined penalties. And especially with UConn, it put them in a position that they were back on their heels, and usually it backfired and the other team scored a goal.
Right.
So it really irritated me. And again, we have to be conscious they're college kids and they're learning the game at a bigger level. Seeing Tage Thompson succeed is great because then it shows all the other UConn and all the collegiate players that there is that chance that you can be drafted by the NHL.
Yeah, it's a proven thing now. UConn has a path to the NHL. You expect other players that, after they play a season or two, they might be moving on to the NHL. But all the rumors are good for UConn. They were ranked actually 7th in the preseason poll, which is pretty good. That would mean a home playoff spot if that held true, if they were actually able to get there. Hopefully they will. A couple quick announcements to start off the show. One is, last week we had John Olzerhosky.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah, who did I thought about the pronunciation about the.
Well, that was great, and he was great.
Yeah. But anyway, so he has done a one-act play. It was chosen out of 200. An international play at the Warner Theater in Torrington on October 14th. I think $15 you can go there. And one of the plays is Whaler fans and kind of how they're dealing with, it's called The Morning After, dealing with the Whalers leaving. And he said it was about 95% kind of funny. So we're looking forward to seeing that. We're going to be there October 14th, so check it out. Speaking of UConn, October 21st is their first game against Vermont, so make sure you put that on your calendar. And, of course, in 2 nights, we have the Wolfpack doing their home opener against Charlotte Checkers. And why don't we talk about the last they only played 2 preseason games, and thank God. Thank God, because
the first one wasn't bad. It was 2-0.
Yeah, that one I saw in person. Luckily, we did get the media passes, so I did show up at noon. It's weird watching a game when there's no fan interact. There wasn't a fan there. Frankie Berrien was funny when the refs came on the ice. He went boo. He's teasing them because they always get booed when they come on the ice. But there was no jumbotron. You couldn't really see what's going on. They got beat, 2-0, but it was handily. And from the standpoint of they really didn't generate much offense at all. No power play. It kind of seemed like similar to last year. And I know it's preseason, so I don't want to jump on the gun.
Did it seem like a preseason game?
Yeah, somewhat. I surprisingly
cut him a little slack.
I did.
It's preseason.
But there just didn't seem to be any chemistry. The goalies in the first game were Georgiev and Chris Snell. And Georgiev is definitely I think the better goalie. He did better in the second game than Halverson, and he did better in the first game than Nell. So that would probably be the goalie they're going to go to. He played in both games at least, and I think he's somewhere around 20, 25 shots, and he only gave up like 2 or 3 goals. The other goal is Halverson. Looked really bad when they played in Worcester a couple days later. They got blown out by Bridgeport 7-1, and as you noted, 0-6 on the power play. I mean, they got 1 goal in 2 games.
The one goal was scored with 2:35 left.
Yeah, it was kind of like here. I mean, what did they pull the goalie? Bridgeport pulled the goalie. So they got beat 9-1 in 2 preseason games. Again, we understand it's preseason,
yes.
But I thought with this kind of roster changeover, and I thought we'd see some kind of maybe chemistry or something. But we'll have to see how it all plays out. So it wasn't like the preseason. I mean, if they had won 2-0 and won 7-1, we'd be sitting here going, I know it's preseason, but they look hot. I mean, they look like they got it together. I just didn't get that feeling. Hopefully as they get into these seasons, obviously Coach McCambridge has got his work cut out for him.
Yep.
But it is a good. I think it's a good roster. I think this team, it can be much better than last year, of course. And if they can get into the playoffs, that would be, be fantastic. So.
Well, I look forward to seeing how they shape up this year. As we've said before, there's nowhere to go but up, and I think they're going to do marked better than last year, markedly better than last year.
Yeah.
They did a lot of changes, a lot of moves in the off season, and I'm looking forward to see what the kind of the new blood brings in and maybe shake up the locker room a bit. Like we said, in the first game, Samuelson, Ulfie's son, Henrik, I believe his name is, he got into a scrap.
He did. He defended his teammates. He had to make a splash.
And then he splashed right down to
he's
the ECHL.
Yeah, he's with the Idaho Steelheads. It would have been cool to have Samuelson on the ice. He plays left wing. He's a forward. Yeah, he's a forward. I guess good news-wise, and maybe Lindsay can show, at least you can take a look at the ice sheet. We got a couple of pictures here.
Yep.
Let me tell you, the ice sheet, though, I mean, that is top-notch. I mean, that is a major improvement from last year. That you could hear the skates on the ice like you couldn't last year. The puck off the boards. These are all new boards, all new dashers, all new glass. There wasn't that crazy bounce where it looked like Merlin was controlling the puck. And we got a picture here of one of the fights that broke out. And I'll tell you, when the fight breaks out and nobody is really hooting and hollering, all you hear is 2 guys struggling and trying to knock each other out. So, we'll have to see how it goes. But I was glad to see, hey, a fight in a preseason game, that's not bad.
Well, I think, when you look at, they're battling for a job. And I think fighting, because it is allowed in hockey, you can do that.
Right.
And I think that's part of either trying to get your team into a better mode than they're in, or they're showing them that this guy's getting scrap when he needs to scrap.
Right.
I didn't have a chance to go to the game, and obviously we didn't travel up to Worcester to see that game.
Right.
But when you look at what was happening last year, it just didn't seem like they were clicking. They didn't seem like a collaborative bunch.
Yeah.
Hopefully, like I said, we can get a group together that we can really look forward to seeing. And this weekend, I'll try to get to the opening night game. I think that'll be neat to see a team that we haven't seen in a while with the Charlotte Checkers coming to town.
I would like to see them. Yeah. I will not be there. I'm going to go try to. I got to go. Hey, fishing season's coming to a close. I got to wrap. This is the playoffs when it comes to fishing. I'm in the first round here. I'm a heavy underdog.
I've watched you fish.
Yeah, it gets pretty intense out there. It gets pretty intense. I pull a hammy sometimes. But I fight through it.
That's getting into
I fight through it. Yeah, that's just getting into the kayak. Getting out is a whole other story. I actually get dumped out.
I should probably film that sometime.
You should.
That would be a great.
That would probably be our most watched show if we did that.
If you lose your shorts, it could be a Moon River.
Yeah, an Eskimo roll where you see the bottom of the kayak and I never come out. Could happen.
Anyway, could happen if I fall. I don't swim.
Yeah, so hey, hockey is here. We're in a good mood. We're glad that you can watch the NHL tonight, and this Friday you can see the Wolfpack.
I believe the Bruins open up against Nashville.
Really? Wow.
A little Bruins news on a side note that Malcolm Subban has been dealt.
No, he's waived.
He's been waived. And he's going to
the Las Vegas Golden Knights.
That's
he's going to be playing probably with the Chicago Wolves. There were some people that were criticizing the Bruins, saying that, boy, they should have gotten something for Subban. Well, I guarantee that I think that the Bruins probably shopped around and said, hey, anybody want him? And if there wasn't much interest, it's hard to say. I think he's got promise. From what I understand, he's 23, 24 years old. Maybe he gets another shot. I mean, it's a little tough living in your brother's shadow when you got to get your breaks.
And his brother is such a remarkable player.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You hate to play against him, but you'd love to have him on your team.
Oh, yeah.
He's just a spirited player. I really like the guy. I think he's done a lot for the game of hockey. And still, he's a young man. And
right.
he does so much with charity. He's such a well-rounded, great ambassador to the game.
Yeah.
And, as a human being, I can salute him. His brother, like you said, he kind of in the background a bit.
Yeah.
We went to a game with my son up in Providence, and he looked behind him more than in front of him.
Yeah, he was pretty mad, yeah.
The Bruins also have McIntyre down in Providence. So,
right.
They really have to start rebuilding that farm club if, in fact, they're going to be a real competitive team this year.
Yeah, yeah, and locally with us, we keep talking about the XL Center. We've been talking about it till we're blue in the face. And a lot of you ask about what's the update with the budget. So as you know, the budget that had the XL Center money got turned around, and then the Republican budget got passed, and that had no XL Center money. And Malloy said he was going to veto that budget, and he did. So it's back to the drawing board, and we're still on the fence. Like, are you going to get the XL Center money into this budget or not? We're still waiting on that. But Hartford did get some good news today.
Yes.
Lindsay, if we could see the next picture here. This is just good for the downtown point of view here. The center plan did the Yard Goat Stadium, of course, and then they got into trouble. And, of course, as you know, another construction firm finished the job. That gave Hartford an out, though, with the surrounding properties. So there was supposed to be a Hard Rock Cafe, maybe some restaurants, things like that. But to get center plan out of the way and get them fired means that another developer can now come in and pitch for the job and get the Hard Rock Cafe done. And as you know, 22 NHL cities have a Hard Rock Cafe.
Yep.
So, this would be the Hartford Hotel and Hard Rock Cafe. It would be the only Hard Rock hotel in New England.
Yep.
So that would be a big deal. So this is something that we thought was going to be tied up in courts, maybe for a year or two, really putting a muck and slowing down. But now they can actually move forward and develop this area and deal with center plan lawsuits on the side.
And what's more important, as we talked about off camera, was the Yard Goats Dunkin' Donuts Park is that kind of gateway to the north end. This was the beginning of kind of moving down Albany Avenue and recreating the north end and revitalizing it. So this is a very, very important step. We know how well the Yard Goats did. And on a side note, we have to congratulate Tim Restall, who was voted the most valuable top
general manager
in the Eastern League. So Tim Restall, congratulations to you. You did a great job this year.
Great season.
And your whole staff did a great job. Pete and I have been to the games, and just a great experience. And so when you talk about Dunkin' Donuts Park and what it means to downtown, 400,000 people went to that park this year.
Yes.
And so the naysayers can go shove off because 400,000 people came to Hartford.
Yeah.
And yes, they went to downtown restaurants maybe before the game. They went for a beverage after the game. They enjoyed a great baseball team, and they didn't make the playoffs, but you know what? They put a good effort in.
They did make the playoffs and drew 400,000. And if you follow any of the Facebook pages, there's a Hartford Dwellers page, and everyone was moping, saying, oh, nobody spent any money downtown. 400,000 people, I can tell you, one of the side notes that we should be happy about is that this new developer is going to be like, hurry up, 400,000 people. I mean, they're going to want people to go to the hotel, to maybe a brewery, to retail, that type of thing. So it's almost like that worked out well because now they could say, well, 400,000 people came. They didn't know how many people were coming to Dunkin' Donuts Park, but now they know they got 400,000 people. That's enough to build stuff around that ballpark and develop that area.
I will preface it that I don't believe still, as some of our sports personalities have said on radio and TV, that people are not going to go to the Yard Goats game and then stay at a hotel overnight. That was a bunch of BS from the start when they were trying to push this thing along. I don't think people are going to do that.
No.
It doesn't mean that someone might not stay for a hockey game. Because if their team is coming to town for 2 nights, the visiting team, maybe they'll stay here. And again, you have to remember this is another hotel for the NCAA championships that are coming to town.
Right, and that's 2019.
2019. So again, we need more hotels. to fill up. And again, the other one that is always left out, and we have to always remember this, is the Homeward Suites down on Asylum Avenue.
You're right.
Which is a great little hotel. It's a great looking place.
Yeah, great owner.
But, nobody ever says anything about it. You talk about Sheridan. You talk about, what's that, the other one there? The Wrench. I can't talk about it.
Yeah, no, brother.
All right, we'll talk about it in a minute because it'll come back.
Yeah.
And, you have, obviously, the convention center. But
Right.
with the dash bus,
Marriott.
you can get around.
Yeah.
So, I applaud Hartford for getting out of that sticky situation with center plan, and now they can move forward with the Downtown North project.
Yeah. I mean, especially if Hartford did get an NHL team, I mean, everybody would be staying at the Hard Rock. I mean, if Montreal came in here for a game, or Detroit, or even Boston,
New York.
Boston, New York.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, you want to go to the Hard Rock Hotel in Hartford?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a place that people would know, and it's going to be bumping and hopping. Of course, again, we always talk about stuff that's coming and it's down the road, but that was a huge.
And usually when we talk about it, it goes right down the crapper.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. So this
we
is
should probably not talk about it.
No, it's a huge. So it's huge to get that out of the way. Talk about crap, because getting that center plane out of the way has been had those issues and everything, and now they can move forward. That's that was a good breath of fresh air actually for Hartford. That's still struggling with bankruptcy issues.
And we can't forget, at the end of the summer into fall, they announced that they're going to be looking at Dillon Stadium again, because that lawsuit and investigation is now completed. And the Hartford Football Club does need a place to play.
Yeah.
They're not going to be spending money off-site. They want to be downtown where all their fans are, and they can get to the games and still maybe do a tailgate kind of pub crawl before they go to those games. That'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah, that would be a blast. I mean,
We talked to Sean Simeo about it, and that's one of the things they talk about, is having it right downtown at Dillon Stadium, which is a great, right next to the Colt building. I mean, it's right in the shadows of Hartford.
Yeah.
It's still part of,
Yeah, we had him. He's the general manager for the Hartford Football Club, and they were playing at CCSU this year, and they did actually draw well. But they when Sean was here, he was on the show. He said, "We are Hartford Club. Hartford is our home stadium." So they need that Dillon Stadium. So speaking of stadiums, we can check out the next picture, and this is a beauty because if anything, it's when you're fighting these people about the Whalers coming back and not coming back. Since 2010, I've had every Joe Schmo tell me, Seattle's getting a team way before you. Well, Uncle Gary Bettman said either today or yesterday, no, we're not even close to that. What was the exact words? We're nowhere near that.
Yes.
And you know what he hasn't said that about? What city has he not said that about?
Hartford.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
How about them apples?
And remember, this is only one piece of the puzzle, because Calgary is going further away from dealing with the politicians in Calgary.
Right.
So, this is all good for Hartford. We just have to get the budget done and the building up to speed. And we can move ahead of these two cities, Seattle and Calgary.
Yeah.
And either attract Calgary, or we got our own team, like someone said today. Make Hartford the 32nd team.
Yeah, I mean,
to balance out the division.
Oh, I mean, you always use this saying, and it's like this. I mean, when you think about Hartford, Seattle, maybe Kansas City, and a couple other cities that kind of want the NHL, they're all off like a herd of turtles. I mean, this has taken forever. I mean, nobody really is reaching out and grabbing it.
Credit right now because we're in a herd of turtles.
We are.
We're not moving
we're not moving. But at least I'm not hearing Uncle Gary say, "Oh, Hartford, we're not even near that."
Right.
He doesn't say that, and yet technically, Seattle's plan is to do what we're doing with the XL Center. Take an old arena, the Key Arena, which it's not set up for hockey. It's old. It's the Supersonics original building from way back when the team already left. And they want to upgrade that. And they've been talking about that for years now. And at least Hartford, is moving in the right direction.
The other stipulation was they wanted the NBA before they got the NHL.
Right.
And as far as I'm concerned, if I was the commissioner of the NHL, and you want to do all this stuff, but you want the NBA first?
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here.
That might be why he's saying nowhere near that quote.
But the other problem that exists, and we talked about this on our previous shows, is part of that ownership group is Wayne Gretzky.
Right.
I mean, that's like having Gordie Howe for the Hartford investment group if we could
back in the day.
them down.
Yeah.
But having Gordie Howe, Wayne Gretzky in the investment group that wants to bring a team to Seattle, that's a real big problem.
Right.
Meaning, they could jump ahead if, in fact, Gary Bettman was entertained by that.
Yeah.
We don't know of the investment groups if one even exists anymore. Everything's been quiet.
Yeah.
So we can just hope that the budget gets passed. There's money in there for the XL Center. Let's do it's kind of like what about Bob? Baby steps towards success.
Yeah.
Let's take care of the XL Center, and then we can properly market the XL Center.
Right.
And hopefully at the time, kind of be competitive with Springfield, because that's going online with that casino.
Right.
And we have to maintain our people in our state to stay in our venues, not go up to Springfield. I'm sure people will visit.
Sure.
And they can.
Yeah.
But they should stay at Hartford. So.
Right, right. And I mean, that's another thing for the NHL. I mean, if you do have a Hard Rock Cafe coming in, you've got the maybe some of you don't know, there's a rail line coming to Hartford this May. It's going from Boston to New York, through Hartford, through Springfield, New Haven, Bridgeport, that whole thing. So now you can get
18 trains a day.
18
to New York
trains.
City.
Yeah, it's almost, and it's one every like 50 minutes or something, they said. You know, that's huge because the NHL looks at stuff like that. You know, public transportation side, they got the busway, and now they got a rail line. They got the casino in Springfield. Actually benefits the idea of an NHL team in Hartford because, you know, hey, you know, the casino can comp tickets to, we can do the Vegas Golden Knight thing,
well,
you know?
If they stopped being so territorial and we work with each other, we can be successful on both ends.
Right, right.
91 is the corridor, and we had the corridor with the 91 club. When the the Civic Center roof collapsed, we went up to Springfield, and we have a great working relationship up there over the years. So I think if they put their heads together and stop being stupid, we can work together.
Yeah.
The other thing we want to do is, I will find it, and as long as my son doesn't see me on my phone, I'll be all right. We did get an interesting email. Or not email, it was posted on Facebook, I should say, and it was a great editorial, an op-ed by Suzanne Hopgood of the CRDA, and I think it's very important that we read it to you, because I think Suzanne just did an outstanding job with this op-ed. I'm going to try to read it fast because we only have a few minutes. The XL Center. Is closure our best course of action? For the first time in 40 years, I've lived in Hartford. The capital city has a strong trajectory into the future. The recent opening of the UConn Hartford campus with 2,500 students downtown, the upcoming 17 trains per day to New York City, the 1,000 new and occupied apartment units with the new residents are all contributing to a new sense of place, of purpose, of hope. Yet while I can touch and see these changes, something less obvious and perhaps not as tangible is happening. The 150 events per year at the XL Center, including UConn women's and men's basketball and UConn Hockey East, AHL games, and family events, are at risk, undermining the work of the last 5 years to repositioning the city as a city center. Since the Capital Region Development Authority, CRDA, is charged with overseeing the XL Center, it seems appropriate for us to provide information concerning the potential shutdown of the XL Center and the ramifications of the greater Hartford region. This particular difficult and frustrating question arises from the decisions inherent within the recent passed state budget that not only reduces the subsidy to operate the building, one which the state has contributed for nearly 25 years, but also the General Assembly's budget reestablishes an admission tax on the building, taking additional cash from its operations while increasing the cost of doing business in the building. The resulting decrease in its competitiveness with other buildings in its market has but one consequence: less events. First, it's important to understand the XL Center's role as an economic engine for downtown Hartford and what that means. The XL Center attracts 600,000 people a year to events held on an average of 150 days per year. This translates into parking revenues, new tax generations, sales, payroll, hotel, restaurant sales, and businesses recently signed a letter to the CRDA that their downtown businesses depend on the XL Center. 2 businesses recently invested over $6 million in properties across the street from the XL Center. Second, there are over 90,000 people in downtown workforce, one that draws from the region, but also from the nation as a whole. Local corporations and partnerships have made it clear that a vibrant downtown is essential to their ability to attract young people to work. And I'm almost done, but I can't read the whole thing because we're running out of time.
Let's get that last picture up. We got one addition to the Whalers Brigade as we close out here.
It is my grandson, Connor Jeffrey English. He's 4 days old, but he's wearing the right colors.
That's right.
It's the Whalers Brigade. There might be a family rift because my son-in-law is a Bruins fan.
We'll work on that.
But we'll work on it with the Whalers Brigade. And remember, we are the Whaler guys. You guys are the Brigade. We are one nation under green, and we'll keep fighting to bring back the Whalers and NHL to Hartford.
That's right.
You guys have a good night. And remember, hockey.